Lemons. And this isn't a theoretical mega project. In 2024, 111 million visits passed through most visited.
The Empire State Building rises 443 meters to its antenna. The Burj Khalifa reaches 828. Dubai Mall does something stranger. It takes roughly 1.12 million square meters and turns that horizontal space into a functioning city of shops, attractions, roads, parking, and mechanical systems. And this isn't a theoretical megaproject. In 2024, 111 million visits passed through it, making Dubai Mall the most visited place on Earth for the second consecutive year. That level of use changes the engineering problem. This is Dubai Mall. And here's what nobody tells you about how much infrastructure is hidden behind something that looks, from the inside, like a shopping center. Dubai Mall was built as the commercial centerpiece of downtown Dubai, the enormous development created by Emaar Properties around the Burj Khalifa. The client was Emaar, while DP Architects developed the architectural design, with engineering work involving firms including Meinhardt. The brief wasn't simply to build a large retail center. It was to create a destination capable of pulling people into a new part of Dubai and keeping them there. The result was deliberately closer to a city than a conventional mall, with major internal circulation routes, separate precincts, entertainment attractions, and enormous back-of-house infrastructure. Construction began in the 2000s, and Dubai Mall officially opened in November 2008. The scale was the selling point. Emaar currently describes the mall as spanning about 1.124 million square meters, with more than 1,200 stores. The complex includes the Dubai Aquarium and Underwater Zoo, an Olympic-sized ice rink, a 24-screen cinema, Kidzania, Play DXB, and multiple major dining zones. Then there's the parking. 14,000 vehicles can be accommodated across the complex's parking infrastructure. 14,000. That's not an accessory to the building. It's part of the building's urban infrastructure. And Dubai Mall keeps expanding. In 2024, Emaar announced a further AED 1.5 billion expansion, initially described as adding 240 luxury retail and food and beverage options. By 2025, Emaar described its new district precinct as containing 279 outlets. But that is not the remarkable part. The remarkable part is what all of this has to operate simultaneously. And then the engineers started doing the math. In a normal shopping center, the structure carries people, shops, air conditioning equipment, and relatively predictable loads. Dubai Mall adds something different. Water. Ice. Huge crowds. Long circulation routes. Specialized mechanical systems. And millions of visitors moving through the same building every year. Let's talk about what happens structurally when you put an enormous aquarium inside a shopping mall. Water weighs roughly 1 ton per cubic meter. The Dubai Aquarium contains about 10 million liters of water, meaning the water alone represents roughly 10,000 tons of mass before you count the tank, filtration equipment, and everything else around it. Contemporary reporting during the 2010 leak described the aquarium as holding 10 million liters and more than 30,000 marine creatures. That creates a concentrated structural load inside a building otherwise designed around retail and public circulation. The technical challenge isn't simply keeping the tank upright. It's controlling the forces where water, glass, joints, structure, and people meet. The viewing panel itself was reported at roughly 32.8 meters wide and 8.3 meters high. That's an enormous transparent barrier holding back a mass of water. And here's something about this building that nobody ever explains. Dubai Mall also contains an Olympic-sized ice rink in one of the hottest cities on Earth. The rink requires continuous refrigeration beneath the ice surface, while the surrounding building needs comfortable indoor temperatures for visitors. So one enormous building is simultaneously trying to reject Dubai's outdoor heat and maintain an artificial winter environment inside. That part doesn't make it into the architecture magazines. The engineering response is therefore a network rather than a single invention. Mechanical systems have to distribute cooling. Electrical systems have to support thousands of tenants and attractions. Plumbing has to serve restaurants, shops, and public facilities. Fire protection has to cover huge occupied areas. And people have to move through it. Constantly. That is where the mall's size becomes a practical engineering problem. Here's the thing about Dubai Mall that every megaproject engineer knows. The structure can be perfectly sound and still fail the public if the systems around it stop working. An escalator doesn't care that the building is architecturally impressive. Neither does a toilet. Neither does an air conditioning system in August. The building's success is therefore measured in mundane details. Doors open. Elevators arrive. Drainage works. Cooling continues. People find their cars. Restaurants keep operating. But here's the detail nobody surfaces. The mall has already had an example of what happens when one specialized system develops a problem. On February 25, 2010, a crack in the Dubai Aquarium caused water to flood parts of Dubai Mall. Security staff cordoned off sections, nearby shops were evacuated, and civil defense and police attended. The National reported that as many as 300 cleaners were deployed to remove water from the floors. Within minutes, what had been an attraction became an infrastructure incident. Water appeared where shoppers expected polished flooring. The aquarium's 10 million liters suddenly weren't an abstract number. They were a maintenance problem. Nobody was killed. The shops were back in operation shortly afterward, although parts of the aquarium remained closed for maintenance. That distinction matters. This was not evidence that Dubai Mall was structurally failing. It was evidence that extraordinary systems create extraordinary maintenance consequences. Other megaprojects have different problems. The Burj Khalifa deals with wind and vertical movement. Large stadiums deal with enormous crowds concentrated in limited areas. Other megamalls deal with traffic, ventilation, and circulation. But Dubai Mall combines almost all of those ordinary problems with specialized attractions inside one enormous complex. Here is the fundamental difference between Dubai Mall and every other shopping center we've covered. It isn't just large. It behaves like infrastructure. And that creates the long-term question. Materials age. Mechanical equipment wears. Pipes require replacement. Waterproofing systems need inspection. Sealants deteriorate. Air conditioning equipment becomes obsolete. Retail spaces are demolished and rebuilt for new tenants. The building doesn't simply get older. It keeps changing while people continue using it. Emaar announced another AED 1.5 billion expansion in 2024 while the existing mall was still operating at enormous visitor volumes. In 2024 alone, 111 million visits were recorded. Think about what that means for the engineers responsible for keeping the place operational. They aren't maintaining a museum. They're maintaining a machine that is constantly being modified while millions of people walk through it. There is no historical data for what a Dubai Mall looks like at 50 years under this exact combination of scale and usage, because Dubai Mall isn't 50 years old. This is the first. It is the only one. By 2058, engineers will have something today's engineers don't. A much longer record of maintenance, replacement, renovation, and operational performance. They'll know which systems aged predictably. They'll know which materials needed intervention. And they'll know whether today's assumptions about a giant indoor urban environment were correct. That's genuinely interesting. And honestly, a little unsettling. Not because the building is unsafe. Because it has become so normal. In 2024, 111 million visits were recorded at Dubai Mall. That means people are constantly passing through the building without thinking about the infrastructure beneath them. You hear footsteps on polished stone. You hear shopping bags brushing against clothing. You hear the soft mechanical noise of escalators. Children press their faces toward aquarium glass. Someone checks a phone while waiting for an elevator. Someone else is trying to remember where they parked. None of them are thinking about 10 million liters of water sitting inside the same building. None of them are thinking about cooling systems, electrical distribution, fire protection, or structural loads. They're just shopping. And that's the strange achievement of Dubai Mall. The engineering disappears. Someone is inside it right now, walking beneath enormous roofs, beside thousands of shops, above thousands of tons of infrastructure, without needing to understand any of it. The unanswered question isn't whether Dubai Mall can stand. It's how long an artificial city can keep making extraordinary engineering feel completely ordinary. Drop it below. Would you spend an entire day inside Dubai Mall knowing what keeps it running? See you in the next one. Verify. Dubai Mall is owned by Emaar Properties. Dubai Mall is part of downtown Dubai. Emaar lists Dubai Mall at 1,124,000 square meters. Emaar states Dubai Mall has more than 1,200 stores. Dubai Mall opened in 2008. Dubai Mall contains the Dubai Aquarium and Underwater Zoo. Dubai Mall contains an Olympic-sized ice rink. Dubai Mall contains a 24-screen cinema complex. Emaar announced an AED 1.5 billion expansion in June 2024. The 2024 expansion was initially announced with 240 new luxury retail and food and beverage options. Emaar later described the district expansion as 279 outlets, 198 retail and 81 food and beverage. Dubai Mall recorded 111 million visitors in 2024. Emaar described Dubai Mall as the most visited place on Earth for the second consecutive year in 2024. The Dubai Aquarium contains approximately 10 million liters of water. Contemporary reporting stated the aquarium contained more than 30,000 marine creatures. A crack in the Dubai Aquarium caused flooding on February 25, 2010. Security cordoned off affected sections during the 2010 aquarium leak. Nearby shops were evacuated during the 2010 leak. Civil defense and police attended the incident. As many as 300 cleaners were deployed according to the National. Dubai Mall shops were reported back to normal by February 27, 2010, while part of the aquarium remained closed for maintenance. The script does not claim Dubai Mall is structurally failing or at risk of collapse.